In the Eagles' third preseason game against the Colts, Tanner McKee displayed his mental prowess, dicing up the Colts' defense by using multiple progressions within one play. The play is run out of a 2x2 look with an inline tight end and reduced split from the receiver on the tight end side. On the other side, the receivers are stacked, also in a reduced split. The play is an inside zone RPO with a bubble to the front side of the run and a speed out to the back side of the run. The first time the Eagles run the play, the Colts come out in a one-high look with two defenders over the two receivers on the stack side, with the corner playing off by 8 yards. Knowing the corner is playing the deep third from off coverage, Tanner makes a pre-snap read and feels comfortable throwing the bubble and letting his guy make a play in open space. Now, I'm gonna skip ahead to the third time the Eagles ran this play. The Colts are again in a one-high look with two defenders over the two receivers on the stack side. This time, Tanner decides to read the safety on the backside that dropped into the box post-snap. He's the conflict defender and the RPO. During the run action, the safety steps towards the line of scrimmage instead of dropping into the throwing window, giving McKee space to complete the pass to Deon Cain. These were both very similar defensive setups for the Colts, so why did McKee throw the bubble the first time and the out the second time? The answer comes down to 3 things: pre-snap play recognition, leverage, and spacing. Let's go back to the first play. McKee recognizes pre-snap that the safety is blitzing weak side. In order to understand how he knows this, we need to look at the tight view. What gives this away is the alignment of the linebackers. The linebackers are shifted by one gap towards the tight end side, even though the safety is walked down into the box. There are now 4 defenders lined up within 3 gaps. While this doesn't mean that a blitz is coming, the offensive line and quarterback should be aware that some type of line movement and/or gap exchange principles are coming into play. So why are the linebackers walked over? This is where the coverage and run fit component comes into play. With the safety coming on a blitz, the will linebacker is now responsible for playing the seam in coverage. I don't know the Colts' exact rules. The linebacker will be tasked with covering the tight end on vertical and outside releases, or widening to the flat if the running back releases outside quickly. He needs to walk over pre-snap in order to give himself better leverage to play his coverage assignment. Typically, in a standard cover 3 play, the will linebacker's run fit would be in the A gap, but having to also be the seam dropper would put a lot of stress on him to do either job successfully. To protect against that, the Colts reduce the defensive end's alignment and are slanting him into the B gap and the defensive tackle into the A gap. The blitzing safety is responsible for the D gap, with the will linebacker now responsible to fall back into the C gap. This makes it much easier for the linebacker to play his run and pass assignments. The middle linebackers walked over as well. He's playing a technique known as a 3 receiver hook, and in pass coverage, he has to relate to the side with the 3 receivers. For instance, if the running back releases to the flat right away, then the middle linebacker would get depth and get his eyes to that side of the field, looking for any crossing routes coming back. This is what's important. Look at where the middle linebacker is on this play compared to the other play we looked at. Because the linebackers are walked over, there's more space for the player running the bubble to operate after the catch. Look at the positions of the linebackers during the time the quarterback releases the ball. That's at least 3 yards of space, and while that doesn't seem like a lot, that could easily be the difference between a defender lunging for an arm tackle or making solid contact. With the linebackers walked to the bubble side, there's less spacing for the offense. In addition to that, the safety coming on the blitz can easily get his arms up and force McKee to throw through traffic. Finally, the corner is playing a little tighter on the bubble the next few times the Eagles came out in this formation, again taking away space from the offense. It's tough to come back to the bubble again so quickly since the defenders will be alert and ready for it again. This was an awesome job by McKee to use his processing to quickly notice small details in the defense to make his decisions. I mentioned that I skipped the second time the Eagles ran this play. We're gonna look back at that now. This time it's 3rd and 3. 3rd and short is almost universal for man coverage in the NFL, and the Colts aren't trying to hide it. This time, the Colts are pressing the receiver that's on the tight end side. The receiver converts his route to a go, and McKee makes the right decision, but is inaccurate on the throw. The ball is way too far inside, and a better DB might have picked this off. McKee needs to place this ball outside so that his receiver has a chance to use his body to shield the defender from the ball, instead of having to fight through the corner. On the next drive, the Eagles come back to this formation again, but now they're on the next progression in this series. This time, instead of using the run action to open up quick passes, the Eagles used it to open up deep and intermediate shots. The Eagles are in a 2-minute drill now, so the Colts are sticking with softer coverages and techniques. The Eagles are running Y cross, with the intended receiver being Tyree Jackson running the crossing route over the middle. The Colts are in quarters coverage. The safety's primary job is to match the vertical route by the number 2 receiver. On the top of the screen, with the tight end check releasing to the flat, the safety is now free to either bracket the number 1 receiver to his side or look for crossing routes. He decides to help bracket the number 1 receiver, leaving Jackson wide open on the crossing route. McKee reads the safety falling off and makes the throw for a big gain. Last year, the Eagles were typically a team that would look to take away their crossing routes with the safeties if the number 2 receiver stayed underneath. While there are cases where you'd want to double the number 1 receiver instead, like say if that was Calvin Johnson running a post, I hope the Eagles keep the same philosophy in regards to taking away the crossing routes again this year. On the next play, the Eagles are again running the same thing. This time, the Colts are in cover 6, playing quarters to the strong side and cover 2 to the weak side. Knowing it's a 2-minute drill, the linebackers get more depth to take away the crossing route. This time, instead of the receiver on the weak side running a go route, he runs to the hole in cover 2, 18 to 22 yards down the sideline. This allows the offense to high-low the corner. He sinks underneath the receiver's route to take away the big shot. McKee quickly reads the coverage, gets his eyes to the corner, and hits the tight end in the flat. The Eagles go back to this play for the 3rd time in a row, this time with the Colts in a single high look. Tanner uses his pre-snap clues to determine this is zone coverage. Against cover 3, the receiver converts his route to deep out. McKee is reading the safety playing the curl flat, looking to high-low him again. The safety gets depth, so McKee quickly moves to the tight end in the flat. He gets the ball out with good zip and accuracy to let his guy make a play. In the end, the Eagles ran the series of plays 6 times, completing 5 passes for a total of 43 yards. McKee went through multiple progressions, utilizing his football IQ to recognize coverage, spacing, and leverage to take advantage of what the defense was giving him. This is impressive stuff for a rookie to already be picking up on, and is what gives the Eagles confidence that he is capable of handling the quarterback 2 role in Philadelphia.